I'm sorry, I had to. I'm trying to record all my lectures, so um, I had to get this started. So, welcome to the fall semester. I am your host. My name is Mark Kirsch. You can call me Mark. You can call me Kirsch, whatever you're most comfortable with. Um, this is going to be an unusual semester because we are not going to have access to the darkroom to make prints. We'll still be able to shoot and develop black and white film. Developing film is something you can do very easily at home. Um, and then I'll show you ways of scanning that film, making copies of the film, and then we will use digital means to produce our prints this semester. We'll also do some stuff that might be just completely digital. Um, and it's an opportunity this semester then to kind of create this hybrid course and actually have this course that's never existed before. And there goes my camera again. I have a camera that keeps, I don't know if it's overheating, but my camera keeps shutting off on me. Apologize. Um, I blame the government. Anyway, um, so we're going to go through some of the basics tonight. Tonight's not going to be a very heavy lift. Wednesday we'll do a lot more. Um, we'll just run through the um, protocol and stuff like that tonight. Um, Mondays and Wednesdays, 6:30 to 8:35 is the scheduled time for this class. I'm going to open up my Zoom at 6 p.m. and from 6 to 6:30 just run kind of an open office hour. So if you have any questions or you just want to chat or come in or you got some questions you want to ask prior to the class, come in anytime between 6 and 6:30 and we'll just talk. Um, I'm also available, via text or a phone call or a private Zoom or a chat, anything. We'll have an opportunity for all the contact that we need throughout this semester. Um, all right, I'm going to go first to. Hang on one second. I'm going to get up I want to share a document here, but I need to make sure I have the correct one up front. Okay, well, I need a second monitor to really make this work. But I have no places to plug anything in. I've got two cameras, a microphone, and a power cord, and I'm out of holes to stick wires into. Um, okay, so I'm going to share a screen here, and you should be seeing my Blackboard screen. Yes, awesome. Okay, so everything that you need this semester will be available on Blackboard. And if you have a question or you're looking for something, go to Blackboard first. Um, all of the stuffs that you see here in Blackboard, it's all a link that will take you to those shared Google Drive folders that you got some information about earlier today. So anything here, if you want to look at there's a folder um, with the course syllabus, and it's got the master syllabus, which is the syllabus that JCC wrote and published, and the actual course outline, which I wrote and published. So if I click on this, it's a link. Excuse me, and the link takes you to my Google Drive. So you can fish around for the stuff directly in the Google Drive, or you can link through it with the blackboard. Um, doesn't matter. Did your screen change? Are you looking at my syllabus now? Yeah. Just you can just give me a thumbs up if you are, because sometimes when I change screens, that it doesn't always refresh. So this is the master course syllabus. This is a lecture lab. The lecture part's easy. The lab part's going to be a little bit more difficult. Um, okay. It's a 3 credit hour class. I'm not gonna go through all of this junks because you should be able to read it for yourself. There are some links to the civility statement, and I'm not trying to make a joke, but it's, I mean, how to be nice to other people and how to conduct yourself in a class. The student responsibility, academic integrity. All right, don't don't cheat. So, if you require special services, there are lots of accommodations. If you need an accommodation from me, let me know. If you need stuff printed out or large type or an audio version of it, all right, let me know and I'll make that available. Um, are any of you actually taking any classes where you're on campus? Anybody? Yeah. Kaylin, so what class are you taking what are you taking that's on campus?
I'm taking physics.
Mm. Okay, now you're there. How many days are you on campus then?
I believe twice a week.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
usually 2 days.
it's a tough protocol. I mean, you got to go in. You got, oh shoot, you know what? I got to fill out a form too. That says that even though there's a survey I have to fill out, even though I'm not on campus, I have to fill out my survey that says that I'm not ill because I don't want to give you a computer virus. Okay, yeah, I know it was bad. That one was destined to fail. Um, so I might have to take a pause. Anyway, we're gonna work tonight, and by like at around about 7:20, 7:25, we're gonna take a 10 minute or so break, and then we'll come back and work on some stuff. Um, and we'll probably do that as a regular course. Every class we'll go for like the first hour, 15 minutes, take a break, and then pull another 50 minutes or so. Okay, so pretty straightforward grading. It's a little bit easier policy than I've been using in the past, but it's easier for what we're working on. Yeah, every project you'll get a grade, 0 through 4, and you can see how it's a pretty straightforward grading process. Um, I do want to tell you why you're taking this course and why I'm teaching this course, and I do have some questions for you about this course. Actually, I'm going to try something here. I am going to put up a poll. And you can fill this out while I'm talking. And the poll, there's just, I think there's 5 questions, and you can just answer it. So there it goes. So I'll just leave this poll up here, and you can fill this out while I'm going through my description. So this course is about photography as a contemporary art form. So we'll be looking at the history of photography. We will be studying photographers from the 1840s through the 2020s, and we will be looking at the at photography technique, the history of the process, the history of the technology, and we will spend a lot of time really talking about the philosophy of photography and why we do what we do. Um, there will be, oh, see this, all right, this didn't update. It says there'll be 5 major assignments during the semester. We're going to probably go with 5 assignments this semester because it's going to take a little bit longer to do some of the things that we're going to do. And each assignment will get a little bit harder, a little bit more complicated, but everything builds off the previous process. So it's going to make sure that you learn some knucklehead stuff in the first project, then you add on to that knucklehead stuff with some more important stuff, and you add on to that more important stuff with some really complicated stuff, and it builds. So you're going to be reusing the knowledge that you gained earlier in the semester to complete the projects. This is a lecture lab class, so the lecture part is important. So my expectation is that you'll be here on or about 6:30. I'm going to start the lectures pretty much promptly at 6:30. All right, I'm getting a phone call here. No caller ID. That's never a good thing. All right, excuse me. Cheating and plagiarism. Okay, let me do this. Cheating's bad. No. Okay. So the syllabus here and the unit outline. The first thing we're going to do over the next few nights, I'm going to give you the bare knuckles introduction into what a camera is, how a camera works, what all the parts are. You don't need to know how to rebuild an engine in order to drive a car. But if you don't know what one of the lights flashing on your dashboard means, it could be trouble. And if you can't find reverse from drive, it's not going to be so good. And if you don't know how to do certain things, you're just going to complicate the act of driving. So we're going to go through what cameras do, how cameras work, so that you'll have a good understanding of the technology, so that you can learn the technique, and then from knowing the technique, you can become an artiste. All right, so I'm looking at the poll here. All right, it's put a pretty awesome response. Question 1, what sort of experience you have? Okay, one of you's got some game. A couple of you are here. Okay, it's all right. Why are you taking this class? I need 3 credits. Awesome. That's the perfect answer. I need 3 credits. I hear good things. I'm glad you hear good things. Okay, everybody wants to be better than they are now. That's a good response. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm gonna end the poll for now. That was awesome. Okay, and I will let you. Actually, I'll send this out, and then you'll get a chance to look at all the answers here. And if we get a few more people coming in here, I think we got a few more. Let's see. Oh, Ben's here. Awesome. Okay. Okay, we picked up Ben. I was going to add this. And so we're just looking for Amy. And we're looking for Jessa and Rosalia. Awesome, 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 awesome. Okay. No, I disappeared there for a minute. Sorry. Let's see. I'm gonna stop this share just for a second. Okay. So throughout this, while we're working this, I mean, we've got a lot of options working with this online presence that we don't normally have sitting in a classroom together. Um, I try to keep a pretty open flow when I'm working. So if somebody's got questions, we just we'll stop and we'll answer the question. We'll move on. Couple of things that in a since we're in a studio setting, we're sitting at tables. There's a group of people, and it's kind of what you see right now. There's just a bunch of people, and like I just got a phone call like a minute ago while I'm teaching because and you're gonna get a call, you're gonna get a text. There's gonna be something going on. If you have to excuse yourself, you know, turn your camera off, turn your microphone off, and do what you got to do and come back. Most of the time while we're working, I mean, there'll be times when I'll ask everybody to turn their mics on because I want to have a discussion. I ask you to turn your camera on because I want to, just make sure everybody's actually still here. But we'll make use of the chat room here because the chat room is a really powerful tool. You can throw a message out to the entire group. You can throw a message to me privately. You can chat each other privately. We can, I don't know, last semester, obviously, you finished the semester online. And I taught a class over the summer, but we didn't have the we've got kind of the powerhouse version of Zoom now that has some features that I didn't have, and so we can do breakout rooms. So if we need to do some kind of a discussion, three or four of you can go into a private chat and talk, and I can bounce in and out. We can have discussions. So there'll be a lot of things that we will try throughout the semester, and it's I think it's going to prove to be a pretty powerful tool. Like I said, though, I'm not going to do what I'm doing tonight, which is just talking incessantly. I promise I'm not going to do a 2-hour lecture every Monday and Wednesday. We are actually going to be shooting film and developing film, and we're not going to take that film into the darkroom and print it, but we're going to have the first half of that knowledge base that we're going to do. So we're going to spend a fair amount of time doing workshops, and I'll probably do my introduction, do my lecture lab the first half of the class, do our workshops the second half. So some of you might be in and out at different times, and that's fine. That's okay. I'm going to go back to another share here. So I'm going to close this out. And I'm going to start a new share here. All right, so I'm back in Blackboard. I'm in the actual content folder for the course. Now, Barb, I'm gonna link stuff for you because I mean you're not a part of this course, so you don't have access to this stuff, but I'll make sure. Yeah, I mean, and Barb, your stuff's going to be a little bit different anyway. So,
Okay.
so I may just do what we're doing, just and send you updates, and you can go directly to. For you, it'd probably easier just go directly to the Google Drive. But
Okay.
I'll make sure, but I'll make sure I'll make sure that you know what's going on. Anyway, so I'm back in the Blackboard, and I'm in my content folder, and there's a link in the content folder to start this Zoom. So if you're looking for an easy way in, there's the link there. It should have the password built in. I'm not sure why some of us had trouble, but it should be the same every week because this is a recurring class. I've got the schedule to run. Hi, hang on one second here. Come on up. I gotta. No. Okay. Wait a minute. Hang on. Wait a minute. Okay. Just because he's gonna come in and say hello eventually. Anyway, you might as well meet the master of the house. Yeah, I know this is really unprofessional, but what are you gonna do? There's Cosmo. Okay. Um, so you can get into this class it's scheduled to start every Monday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. The class starts promptly at 6:30, but we'll do open office hours from 6 to 6:30. Come, come share a cup of coffee, whatever, before you get started. Ask any questions you need to ask. So this link will open up the Zoom. It'll open up your Zoom app. Now there was problems with Zoom this morning, and I think if people were on the app, we're okay. But if you were trying to go through the web page and it opened up, it wasn't down. It was like everywhere. It was like the Zoom itself crashed this morning. And it was down for a couple of hours, so it was a pretty bad start for a lot of people. All right, so in this content folder, besides the link to go on, besides the link to the web or the Zoom meeting, there'll be a folder for each week's content, and I'm loading up week one now. So if I click into week one here, all right, there's information on cameras, on supplies, and stuff that you're going to want to know. And somehow, all right, week two got loaded into week one. I'll have to fix that. So anything you need, all right, I'm going to click on supplies and equipment. That's going to take me to Google Drive. And so I'm in Google Drive and I'm in the week one folder. So you can always go directly to that if you go directly to the shared drive that I gave you a link for a shared drive earlier today. You can go right here. Now, I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit. So here's the challenge. Ooh, Barb, see, there's double exposure right there. Ooh, exciting. So this was something I tried, and this was with the digital camera. This was a double exposure, and this was like a 30-second, or actually two 15-second exposures. So it was like a 30-second exposure.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll send you some better files of it. So the challenge this semester is that we're doing this in what is referred to as a synchronous online format, which means we meet every Monday and Wednesday from 6:30 to 8:35, just like we would in a regular classroom setting. Except our classroom is virtual. Everybody's at home in a comfy spot with comfy socks and a cup of coffee or tea or beverage of your choice. So it makes it a little bit harder to do the actual lab portion of the learning. But we're gonna make this work. So this is a black and white class, and we're going to try something a little bit different this semester. And the same kind of rules are going to apply in the beginning that would apply in a regular class. Now, got the school has waived the $40. I think it's $40. The $40 lab fee that you pay, since we're not actually going into the lab, and you're not using chemicals and school supplies. So yay! So you save $40. So I'm going to make you spend it. So what you are going to have to locate, and you would have to take.
Just the film one or film one?
Okay, I'm gonna. Yep, you're gonna have to find. Ah, Rosie's here. Awesome.
Yes,
Rosa, okay,
sorry.
no worry. Is okay. So do you have is it? How do you pronounce it? Is it Rosalia?
Yeah, Rosalia, you can just call me Rosie. It's
Okay,
easier.
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay. Awesome. Welcome. Thank you. Awesome. Now, so you had trouble getting you needed a password to get in, or was there? Because I know some
Um,
people.
actually, actually, somebody sent me just a link that because they said that they had issues getting into. Actually, somebody
Okay.
else replied to me too, and
Oh, great.
I just
Okay.
clicked on the link and signed in, and it got me in right away.
Awesome. Okay. Super. All right. Welcome. Um, yes, I'm gonna have you locate a 35 millimeter film camera. Now I'm gonna switch over here. Switch my come on. I know this will get better as we go along for sure. All right, so I'm going to. Oop, there we are. I don't know why that keeps. All right, I'm going to switch over to a different camera. All right, so you should see a pile of stuff now, right? I'm going to end. Let me do this. Let me stop this share. So, okay. So here's some of the supplies that I'm going to have you look for. So this is an old Nikon 35 millimeter film camera. All right, and you know it's a film camera because you can. Where'd I go? Did I lose? Okay, you can. All right, back of the camera opens up and you can see where film goes. Now, somewhere in your family, somebody owns one of these, and it might look like that, and it might look a little bit more like this. But I want you to look around and find a 35 millimeter film camera. They're not as hard to locate as you think they are. Now, in a again, if we were all in the classroom together, I would have a few extra cameras that I could share. But the problem was we were in the middle of a semester, and I had all my cameras signed out last semester. And then the world came to an end on like March the 12th. And I have no idea where all my cameras are. Now, I'm sure someday I'll get some of them back, but they're all gone, and some people have moved on and are done. So even if I could get back on campus and get some of the stuff for you, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where any of it is. So look around for a camera. Send me a picture of it, and I'll tell you whether or not it's a workable camera. Now, I've got. I mean, because I'm a collector, I have all sorts of different cameras. All right, so I've got this. Got the Nikon, which is a traditional single lens reflex camera. It gets referred to as single lens reflex because it's just got the lens in the center and it's got the viewfinder in the back, and the lens comes off and I can put different kinds of lenses on it. This one's a little bit different. It's called a rangefinder. There's the lens that takes the picture, but then there's the viewfinder up here that you look through. So it's like different system. And then this is just like a little point and shoot. This is actually a really good camera. But if you're learning photography, this is not the camera that you want, because it does everything. You'll never, number one, learn why it's doing what it's doing. And you can't control what it's doing. The camera pretty much makes all the technical decisions for you. Shutter speed, aperture, the camera does that. This camera, I can control shutter speed, I can control the aperture. This camera, I can control the shutter speed, I can control the aperture. So I have creative control. This camera, I have no control. So here's your best choice. This is kind of your second best choice. The thing to be sure of, though, is that you're getting a camera that's in good working condition. You want to know that your camera has a meter that works, that you can wind it and click the shutter, and you can hear the shutter click. I mean, this is going to be our major creative tool throughout the semester. So you want to make sure you have a decent camera to work with, or you're gonna cripple yourself when it comes time to try to make these creative decisions. Now, I've got another camera here. Oops, excuse me. I've had this camera for a long time. Okay. It's a really awesome camera. It's a Kodak Autoflex from 1920. So it's literally 100 years old. It's a great camera. It's not the one that I want to learn photography with, though, because it's pretty limited in terms of what it'll do. So you really want to look. This is the one you're looking for. The single lens reflex. It could be a Nikon or a Pentax or a Canon, and there's 1,000 different names, but it's going to look. It's going to look like this. You don't need it right away, but you're going to want to start looking for one right away, so you can get it cleaned up, get a new battery in it, and make sure it's working. And I will walk you through the process of making sure that it's working. Now, you're also going to need some black and white film. And I've got a couple different things here for you to look at in terms of film. Let me move this. This is what a box of 35 millimeter film looks like. This is Kodak Tri-X. It's called 400TX is the short nomenclature, but it's Kodak Tri-X film. You're probably familiar with this. It comes in a little can. And then inside the can is the roll of film, and then the roll of film drops into the camera. There are different kinds of film, and there's color film and there's black and white film, and you cannot use color film for this class. It won't work. You need black and white film. So one of the things that's important here, and it won't make much sense tonight, but it will make sense, is this designation of 400. That 400 refers to what they call the speed of the film, the sensitivity, how sensitive that film is to light. 400 speed film is considered kind of a universal. You can use it outdoors, you can use it indoors. It's a good overall film to use. Now this is an Ilford film. This is Ilford FP4, and if I can get this in the light correctly, you see that it says Ilford Plus, and the number underneath is 125. The Tri-X is a 400. The Ilford is a 125, which means it's less sensitive to light. It works great outside, but it's hard to work with indoors or when the light levels are low. So there are a number of different. I'm gonna switch back to my screen share here. There are a number of different films that you can use. All right. So the Kodak Tri-X or the Kodak T-Max, they're both what's called ISO 400. They're 400 speed films. Ilford makes one called HP5 or HP5 Plus, and Ilford Delta, they're a 400 speed film. They're both good choices. Both of these Kodaks are good choices. Both of these Ilford are good choices. There's also a camera store in California in Los Angeles called Freestyle. They have their own in-house brand called Arista, and they have a 400 speed film. It's a really good film. Any of these films are going to be good. I've got one floating around here. It's just a wacky. It's called Blackberry or Blackbeard film. It's a weird film, but it's as long as it's an ISO 400, all right, a 400 speed film, it will be okay for you. So you're going to need probably 5 rolls to start. You might want more later in the semester, but you're going to need 5 rolls, and I think you can buy them in a little brick of 5 rolls. And this sheet is down. This sheet is the supplies is in the Google Drive, downloadable. You can print it out. You can buy the stuff right off of Amazon. You can try Adorama Camera in New York. They ship really fast. You get it as fast as Amazon. Freestyle Photo takes a few days more because they're in California. And there's B&H Photo Video there also in New York, and they will ship within 24 hours, and you'll have it within 2 or 3 days. So any of these guys can hook you up with film. And it doesn't matter which film it is, which brand it is, as long as it's a black and white film and it's a 400 speed film, an ISO 400. ISO just it refers to it's a nomenclature. What's the word I'm looking for? Not anagram for film speed. So ISO 400. Sometimes it might say ASA 400, but I usually say ISO 400. So you need a black and white ISO 400 film. If you're not sure, ask me and I'll tell you. I'm also going to have you get film chemistry for developing your film. It's really easy. You can do it in a bathroom. I've been developing film at home for 100 years. I'm going to stop this share for a minute. I'm going to come back here and move my cameras out of the way. Film developing tank. There are cheap ones, there are expensive ones, and then there's a really crappy one that I have here. Works fine. So there's the tank, there's the spool that the film goes on, and then the spool goes in the tank, and then the cover goes on, and so your film is in the tank, and you can pour liquids in, you can pour liquids out, and then you can develop the whole thing in a bathroom sink. It's real easy. I'm going to have you buy this is a half liter, it's a 500 milliliters of film developer. There are a bunch of different kinds. If you look at that freestyle, I think it's freestylephoto.biz. They have a number of different. There's Ilford developers. There's Kodak developers. There's Freestyle has their own photographer's formulary. It doesn't matter to me which one you buy, but you just want to make sure you're getting a film developer. 500 milliliters is all you're going to need for an entire semester. This is a concentrate, so you'll dilute this like 1 part developer, 9 parts water. So this will make 5 liters. All right, so this is going to make like more than a gallon. So you're just gonna mix it up every time you need it, and then you'll just it's just kind of one and done. It's all kind of one shot. You're done with this, then you pour it down the drain when you're done, and it's okay to pour down the drain. The other chemical that you're going to need is now this is a there are different kinds of developers. You want to make sure you get a film developer. This is Ilford Rapid Fixer. There's kind of it's a sort of a universal fixer. You can use this to fix film. You can use this to fix paper in the darkroom. Essentially, what this does, the fixer does exactly what it sounds like. It fixes the film. It makes it permanent. So you develop the film, and then you're going to fix the film, and then you're essentially done. There's one more chemical you're going to need. It's when you wash the film so that the water doesn't stick to the film and leave water droplets. I just get what's this stuff called, the rinse agent that you put in your dishwasher, right? Like I can't think of the name of it right now. You guys know what I mean, though, right? The little. So and it's the stuff you put in your dishwasher. It's the rinsing agent that makes so your glasses don't have water spots all over them, and you'll use that and you'll dilute that in water and dip your film in it before you hang it up, and then that is the extent of the supplies I need you to get. The film developer, the film fixer, and the film itself, and then locate a camera somewhere. Okay, so I apologize for kind of rushing through the supplies, but perhaps you had a chance to look at that sheet. I mean, I'm trying to keep your purchases to a minimum. There's no textbook for this, so we save a little scoot that way. But I think you're going to find the process of shooting and developing film pretty fascinating. Now, I apologize. I feel bad that we're not actually getting the full darkroom experience, but it gives you reason to sign up next semester for the studio problems class and getting the darkroom done. So a 400 speed black and white film. Tri-X has for years been the gold standard. It's also the most expensive film out there, but it's a great film. The Ilford HP5 is currently what I use. I've been using that Ilford HP5 Plus for probably 10 years now. I like the way it looks, with the way I take photographs, the kind of photographs I take. That film is really nice. The FP4 is a really good film. It's like I said, it's a slower film. It's not as sensitive to light, so it's great outdoors, or it's great like if you're working in a studio. I've used that shooting portraits because there's a trade-off between sensitivity and fidelity, and the higher the sensitivity, the grainier the film will look, the softer it will look. So if you want really fine, uh, I don't want to call it resolution because it's not resolution, but if you want something that looks like a higher resolution, slower film will give you that higher resolution, but you need more light in order to really facilitate it. So it's great in a studio if you're working with lights or electronic flash where you can control the amount of light. But it's not real good after dark. It's not real good at dusk or in the morning or indoors. The 400 speed film's the way to go. Film developing tank. There are different kinds. This will do one roll at a time. There are 2 roll tanks out there. You know, look at Amazon, and you know, don't overlook eBay because you can sometimes get stuff to ship pretty quickly from eBay. But if it's shipping from Japan or China or California, it's going to take a while to get here. And then the chemistry. I've been using the Ilford. I've used other stuff. This is just what I'm using now. Um, this is the Ilford Ilfosol film developer, and it says you can't read it, but it's already, it says film developer. And there's a difference between film developer and paper developer. And then the fixer. So those are really the only 2 chemicals you need. The rinsing aid, there's a photographic rinsing aid, and it's called rinse agent, rinsing aid. But just, you know, the Cascade stuff or whatever it is that the little squirt bottle you load in your dishwasher, that stuff works great. You're gonna dilute that stuff like 10 drops to a liter of water. You don't use much of it at all. Pardon me. You know, you're not going to be buying paper to use in the darkroom. That's a huge savings. So that's essentially the stuffs that I need you to get. I can't stress enough though that you make a good, honest effort to find a decent film camera. Now that Nikon that I have is probably from, I don't know, the 1980s. I bought that on eBay. I think I paid 40 or 50 bucks for it. I'm not saying you have to buy a camera because I know there are cameras around. You're going to be able to find one somewhere. The Canon Rebel, you know, like there are Canon Rebel digital cameras, and then there are Canon Rebel film cameras. And the Rebel, the Canon film cameras are probably one of the highest selling, most popular cameras out there. So you can find those, and the nice thing about those Canon cameras is that they're autofocus. You don't have to focus it yourself. They've got auto exposure. They've got some modern settings they're much closer to a digital camera than they are to an old school film camera. Although old school film cameras, I think is a really great way to learn what you're doing. It's like learning to drive in a car with a manual transmission. Pentax K1000. The Pentax K1000 is probably the single most popular film camera ever made, ever. There are billions of them floating around in different condition. They last forever. I think like a lot of the cameras that I was signing out last semester were Pentax K1000s or something like that. And you also see that camera marketed under different names. Pentax made them for everybody. There's Jcc. There are a lot of similar cameras. The thing you need to be sure of though, when you pick up one of these cameras, is that the meter works. Now the meter is critical to what we're doing. The meter is, I mean, synonymous with, analogous to the, the speedometer or the tachometer of a car. You can guess what speed you're going at, but you could be wrong by 10 miles an hour easy, right? The meter of the camera, it lets you know if there's too much light coming in to exposing the film, not enough light coming in to expose the film, or just enough light to expose the film. And the meter might have a little dial that slides along the bottom saying, okay, too much, not enough, perfect. It might have something that goes up and down. It might even be a green light and a red light. But that meter tells you, it gives you an indication of where you are with how much light is coming into the camera and exposing your film. You get too much light on the film, it just blocks it up, and you get, it's so overexposed you don't have a picture. And if you don't have enough light, you don't have that electrical chemical energy hitting the film to form the picture. So you've got a pretty narrow range of exposure. If you're supposed to be here, sorry, you're supposed to be here, and you're way over here, you got too much light coming in down here, you got not enough light coming in, you're not going to get a photo. Your range is going to be pretty close. So that meter gives you an indication of where you are, whether you're off one way or the other. So making sure that you've got a working meter in your camera is critical. That means making sure you have a fresh battery in your camera and making sure that all the contacts are clean. Wipe it down, keep good good camera hygiene. Couple things about the camera. We're not going to really get into cameras too much tonight, but couple things. Since you can actually get inside this camera, I'm going to, all right, right here, that's the camera's shutter. Now I'm going to, let's see if I can, let me see if I can set this. Okay. Now I'm going to click this, and you're going to see the shutter open and close. Maybe, no, okay, not, this one doesn't like to do it when it's, let's see, this might work. Okay, the shutter's open, shutter's closed. Now you can see it opens really quickly, and then when I close it, this shutter is a piece of, essentially it's a piece of metal foil. And if you touch it and you push on it, you put a wrinkle in it, and then it doesn't ever want to work again. So you got to be really careful whenever you have your camera open. On the front of the camera, I'm going to take the lens off. Inside the front, I don't know if I can get the light. Let me get a light on this. Okay, I'm going to overexpose my bald head, so I'm going to be pretty shiny here. There's a mirror right in here. There it is. So you can see the reflection in the mirror. And that mirror is what allows the light go in and then come out the top here. And then when you take the picture, that mirror flips up out of the way so that you can make your photograph. Actually, if I wind this, you might see the mirror flip up and down. Yeah, see, because the mirror is down, you're actually seeing the light coming in from the back. You're seeing the reflection of my beautiful face there. Mirror flips up out of the way, take the picture, and then the mirror drops back down. So you want to be careful with that mirror that you don't ever put a fingerprint on it, because I can't see a thing now. You get a spot on that mirror. It never comes off. It's like it's like polished metal, and it's really soft. Oh man, I'm blind now. So there's a couple things to look for, but if you're finding a camera, it's been in your family for a while. It's just been, people got them in their garage, and in an attic. Um, you know, you'll find something, and I mean, you're not going to need this camera right away. You got a couple of weeks to locate it. Um, what we are going to do then is do as much of this as we can in the traditional way. So we're going to shoot film, develop the film, and what we'll do from there, or you know what, I don't have a piece of developed film in front of me. Um, we'll take that developed film and then and we'll scan it and take that negative, and then we'll use Adobe Lightroom and Adobe Photoshop to finish that process. So we're going to start analog and finish digital. Now, excuse me. Um, Scanning of the negative sounds pretty daunting. If you got a flatbed scanner at home that scans photographs, great, good for you. Not many of us do. Um, this is my scanner, and what I'll do is lay the film on top of like a white sheet of paper or like a sheet of parchment paper, and hold that in front of a light so that you've got that soft white light. I've also got, like, in my bathroom, fluorescents don't work really good because they flicker. I think, like, at the top of the screen, you can see, like, the ceiling fan. You can see that the ceiling fan kind of flickering. That's just the fan interfering with the light. But with a camera, fluorescent light will flicker like that, and it's hard to get even illumination. But I've got, if you have a white sheet of paper in front of the light, it smooths everything out. I've got, like, an LED light panel that's above my bathroom mirror, and I'll just actually tape the film to that and hold my camera up and take pictures of it. And it's a pretty crude process, but it works surprisingly well. I mean, your phone cameras are 20, 30 megapixel cameras. They're awesome cameras. So you can do a lot with that camera, and then take that tiny little negative. You're going to make a digital copy of that negative, and then we'll load it in Photoshop, load it in Adobe Lightroom, and we'll flip it from a negative to a positive, and then I will show you the kind of a digital version of the darkroom process. So you're going to make some stunning black and white prints. They'll be digital prints, and then I'll show you some options for getting them printed out. If you are on campus, and I am not planning on spending much, if any, time on campus this semester, but in the computer lab upstairs, in the artworks, we've got an awesome photo printer, which you'll have access to if you want to try printing stuff out. But I'll show you how to get some really good how to get some good prints made. You can also just send the file to somebody and have it printed out. Have it printed out on a nice heavy watercolor paper. Your black and white prints will just be stunning. All right, so I've been yammering at you for the better part of an hour and a half. Let's just open it up to some questions. Anybody have any basic questions you need to ask? No? Okay. Don't be shy. Okay. I'm just gonna assume if you got a question, you can throw it in a chat to me. Okay. Thank you, Abby. All right, let me look then at what else I might be able to share with you tonight. that won't scare you too much. Okay, I sent you the passcode if you needed to get in next time. I'm not sure why it was at Zoom went down. It fell down hard today. Um, and I don't think it's all going well. Oh, that document I was just showing you. Let me get this share back up here. The supplies document. The very last page is just kind of a quick and dirty list. All right, camera. There's the Kodak Tri-X, the Ilford HP5, and there's what a different type of developing tank looks like. Don't feel the need to spend oodles of money if you just want to get a couple rolls of film. Now you're gonna need one roll of film that you can burn. All right, I mean that you can just throw away. So if you've got like an old roll of color film hanging around the house, you're going to want a roll of film that you can practice with, because you need to get the film out of the camera onto the spool. Now this is showing a roll of a different kind of film, but a roll of film on the spool, all developed. You need to get the film. I'm going to stop my share for a minute here. Okay, I've got a roll of film here. So you're going to need to get the film out of this little can. Onto the spool. And you can see it winds around, it winds in, so it's like a spiral. Winds on the spool. Makes that noise too. The spool with the film goes in here, goes in your film developing tank. You got to do this part in 100% complete darkness. So you got to find yourself a good dark closet that you can sit in, or some way, a heavy jacket or something you can put over all of this. Because the film, obviously, if it's exposed to light, it's going to ruin everything that's on the film. So you got to get the film out of this little can, get it in here, and do that in complete darkness. So you have to learn how to do it by feel. And you don't want to have to learn how to do that by feel with a valuable roll of film that has photos on it. So you're going to want like a burner roll that you can practice with, and just take it out, put it back, take it out, put it back, and play with it. I don't know. I'm talking for like I got junk film all over the place, but you probably don't in your house. So look around. You can find a hunk of film somewhere to play with. But again, that's down the road. That's nothing you need right away. But you're going to want something. You don't want to spend $5 on a roll of film and then just throw it away if you got a junky roll that you can use instead. So all right. So we've got that list of supplies out of the way. Let me see if there's anything else I want to go through with you. We went through the syllabus a little bit. All right. I don't think so. All right, I gotta reset that week 2 folder so it's in the right spot. So tonight's just sort of an introduction. Make sure you're not afraid. Don't be afraid to pursue this. in a larger sense, there's no way this is not a crappy semester because it's just there's so many unknowns this semester. Um, and we're doing this, and we're doing. Some of you are doing hybrid classes or the flex classes. The majority of the humanities classes seem to be either the synchronous like we're doing where we have the regular meeting time or asynchronous where, you know, instructor throws assignments out and you return them. And it's going to go like this until there is the first big batch of COVID cases, and then the whole thing just shuts down. Um, the University of North Carolina did that. They were all set to go, and then 2 days before the semester, they had 177 cases of COVID in the student body and had to shut down. University of Michigan did the same thing. Notre Dame did the same thing. Syracuse University did the same thing. So it's don't be surprised. I'm not saying it's going to. But don't be surprised if it does happen. The thing is, we're JCC. We're smarter than they are. Um, no big parties. If wear a mask when you're out. I'd say, oh, you know what? I'll show you. This will be something that I can show you that maybe it will make you smile. Let me get this, because I'm I'm embracing. This is my COVID look, right? The black mask and the Ray-Bans. All right, I got the Joe Biden Ray-Bans. I want you to know that this actual pair of Ray-Bans is almost 30 years old. That these are really old school shooter style Ray-Bans. So Joe's got nothing on me. But anyway, I've decided I really like this because I can wear the mask and then with the glasses, it's like I'm invisible. It's like the opposite of invisible. It's like nobody can see inside me. So like I can walk around the Home Depot and really freak people out. But it's all right now. It's okay to do that. So embrace it. Just go with it. And just. There's an old saying: if you can't hide it, paint it red, right? So, I came to terms with the fact when I was in my 20s that I was not going to have long, luxurious blonde hair. So I started shaving my head. Right? Can't hide it, paint it red. So we got to wear a mask, man. Just wear it in a big way. Just have fun with it. So, you want to keep yourself safe. You want to keep your classmates safe. Wearing the mask, I don't want to proselytize, but wearing the mask is the way to go. I did find out. I had one of those, like those like fabric masks, like kind of like this shirt. You can just put it up around. And I was wearing that, and because it looked really cool. And there was a study done on the people who wore like just the bandanas, people who don't want to like mask up, so wear a bandana, or they wear one of the stretchy fabric gaiters, right, and like a neck gaiter. That those two solutions actually, if you look at, okay, without a mask, you can spread 100% of the virus if you coughed or talk or whatever, right? So without a mask, it's 100% spread. With a mask, it's like 20 or 30, and if somebody else has got a mask, it's like less than 1%. That the gaiter or the bandana are rated at 110% of the spread because of the way they're made. If you cough, the particulate going through the mask actually it's like pushing it through a window screen, and it breaks it apart in even smaller particles that stay in the air longer and travel farther. So those masks are actually counterproductive, and it was disappointing because I really liked it. But I like my black one now. I'm digging the Joe Biden look. You know what are you gonna do? So wear a mask, be safe. I will open the doors on Wednesday at 6 p.m. In the meantime, if let me go back to the syllabus. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this easier. I'm just going to do it right through the chat. I know this information is on the syllabus. I am sending you my cell phone number. So if you want to call or text, I prefer text. But so if you just want information, you're like, oh, I saw this camera. I don't know what to do. Is it good? Or you know, you got any questions? Just hit me up. I'm one of those people that's never more than a foot away from their device. So I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Email is fine. You know, so I'm always available to answer any of your questions. So what I am going to do now, because that's really all I really wanted to get through tonight. That's about all I can get through now. I actually feel my voice starting to fail a little. Excuse me. It usually takes me a couple of weeks in the semester to get my my vocal chops back. It's like being a singer. Plus, if you listen to me long enough tonight. So this and every one of our classes will be recorded and available online, and I will make sure that as soon as I can, I will throw a link your way. So if you want to go back and check on something that you might have missed, or if you missed part of a class and you want to find out what you did miss, everything's recorded. So if I didn't tell you before, smile, you're on camera. I'm going to end the class, but I'm just going to turn my camera off and do a little work. But I'm going to if you got a question, you want to just talk to me, you want to chat with me, you can hang around and we can talk. If you want to check out for tonight, start searching for a camera, go right ahead. Welcome. Thank you for trying this out. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. I'm going to make sure it's as awesome as it can be. And I appreciate y'all being here. So until Wednesday, peace.